All right.
It would have canceled us though if I would have said it.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's see if that fixed it.
I mean, we can at least hear you now, so
Statistically speaking, that is an improvement.
that would be an improvement.
Yeah, it is an improvement.
Whether it's a good one or not is yet to be seen.
Yeah, it seems
The
that
definition of improvement is betterment.
yeah, apparently what it
Have
looked
Blackford
like
go ahead
it
and
was
take,
doing.
2d8 damage.
I'm gonna fucking hit you with 2d12 in a second here, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, Rices, I would agree with you with that. But however, we're in election time. Like the election's on Tuesday, and there's a lot of people promising improvement that is not going to be improvement.
All right, so I think that fixed the problem.
What'd you do?
Fuck if I know at this point. I had apparently two Wi-Fi cards yelling at each other, and so I just reset them both and then told them to figure their shit out, or they're gonna go into timeout. And
You use Wi-Fi connection.
yeah, I do, because if I run a cable, you know who's gonna pull on it? One of the children.
True.
That's why you give them a shock collar.
Yes, like we're giving to Rage. Yes, of course.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Not yet. It's in the works though.
It's in the works. It's happening. All right. So with that little weird disconnection, reconnection situation in play, so Creed, when you go up to Nez, it's the first time you actually look into a changeling's eyes. As you realize that his eyes are essentially extremely large pupils with a very reduced sclera. So essentially there's black orbs of a little bit of white on the outside.
I'm going to assume that's good.
It is normal. You would know your own eyeballs.
Yeah, no, but like it's like underwater hearing, so I'm kind of like, oh. You said like I have like bad
yeah. You got wah-wahs. Yeah, you got the wah-wahs.
What are we standing next to? Is
Like a pillar.
there any sort of banner on it?
Nah.
God, I don't want to tear my cloak. Does Nez, do you have a rag on you? Like stick it out of a pocket or something?
Yes, I would.
All right. Yeah, Creed's just gonna borrow that for a second, and take out his canteen, pour some water on it, and he's gonna just kind of lightly hold the wet rag over your eyes. Sort of let your eyes get some moisture back into them from being. They went from rare to incredibly well done.
Yeah. Yeah, and while you're doing that, Nez, your hearing starts to come back slowly, as it goes from being underwater to just ringing. But you're starting to get the majority of your hearing back. As we swap over to Nameless and Okros, you got a pretty good tan on your front, buddy. You're definitely looking a little bit bronze, David Hasselhoff style. Your hearing is completely underwater. Your eyesight is still spotty at best. But you do see a small cat shape coming up to you as you're kind of just leaning against the wall.
Well, that was something. Just gonna kind of lean my back against the wall and rest for a moment or.
Okay, I'm stupid. I don't know why I did that. I was mouthing my words because he couldn't hear it, and I, for some reason, thought he could see me.
Why is he not reacting to me mouthing my words? He says from his PNG avatar on the DM screen.
Yeah. Totally fucking stupid.
It
It'd
happens.
be really fucking great if we were all actually together. Let me
Yeah,
just point
yeah.
that out.
If we're all in person, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
I have done that a time or two. I will confess that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, looks at nameless, and I shoot. I'm like giving the look of like, can't.
Yeah, you can't see it. You have to like narrate the whole thing. Be like, I'm giving you a look, and it's like, thank you for telling me. Yeah, digital storytelling's a little bit different, but Nameless, you come up to
Yeah, so I was
Okras.
mouthing words like, dude, are you alright? I'm waving my hand in front of his face. Say, can you hear me?
So you're doing that to who? Sorry.
To you.
You.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's coming up to you as you see a blob that is friend shaped, waving his hands at you. As you can kind of see its jaw moving, but it's not really making sound you can recognize.
I kind of wave it off and try to recover.
Yep. You continue to recover. As Nameless, you continue to try to get his attention. Okra seems relatively well standing. It's just that he seems kind of out of it, which makes sense with how close to the blast he was. And Okros, actually, give me just for shits and giggles, give me a wisdom check, please.
I don't like when the DM says for shits and giggles. It's usually shits. Shits for us, giggles for him.
We'll see.
Depends on what you roll.
We'll see.
Yeah, that we'll see did not make anything better for me.
We'll see.
Just saying.
We'll see. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Stop worrying about it.
Oh, I'm starting to worry.
The internet's being slow. There's too many people playing D&D. Get out of my time slot. I have the internet reserved.
I own this hour.
this hour slot is mine, damn it.
Oh my god, just load already. What the fuck?
Here, I'll just roll an owlbear. What's your mod for your wisdom?
Well, that's what I'm trying to see. My fucking character sheet won't load. There
Huh.
we go.
Okay,
Fucking hell.
it did load up finally. Okay.
Okay. It's just the wisdom modifier? Yeah, that's a -1, so...
-1.
I rolled a 16, though, so 15.
Alright, so you are looking at this blob. You know it's not an enemy, but you do mistake it for one of your younger cousins, which is confusing as of how did they get here, but it does make you joyous to see them as you now feel the overflowing need to pick them up and hug them tightly.
Oh my god, yes.
So, good.
What? I guess I pick them up and hug them.
Which way is my face facing? Like, is it just
Your
buried in
face
his
goes,
chest,
yeah,
or...
yeah.
Okay.
It's very comfortable.
I don't know if you heard that. Hopefully you did.
Yeah, it came through.
Okay. I tried. Fuck you, Stealth. Son of a bitch. And I will call him George, and he will be bouncy and fluffy, and I will pet him and love him and feed him.
Oh my god, this is great.
Eventually, as you're holding your cousin, you just seem very joyful as your sight comes back, as you look down and you see the face of Nameless in between your arms, as he is just like muffled screaming for you to let him down, as your hearing comes back to just a ringing, the spots in your eyes fading into normality.
I suppose this does make more sense. And I put him down.
Oh, that's your reaction. Like, oh, like fucking Vulcan from TTS, just like, friend, hug, oh, it's so good to see you. And you're like, wait a second. Oh, yeah. Wait.
Hold up a minute.
Hold on a minute. Why would my cousin be here? Oh, it's a Nameless. Hello. You just keep squeezing him tighter. Friend.
Oh, Nameless, it's so
Good to see you. Squeeze.
Another squeeze.
So as you set Nameless down, you all kind of gather up in the hallway as you see the goblin sorcerer, who's been lovingly called Glem by one of the spirits that followed you guys during your last adventure, is dancing in a circle, kind of in his hands in the air, just going as he's just dancing on the ashes of the stones around him. I say, take your macros and shove them, you four-armed warden! As you now see the full destruction of what this goblin brought forth, as the entire orange area that is in front of him, the corner of this compound, has been reduced to essentially glass. The sand outside of the compound is smooth and shiny. It has just been completely flattened and incinerated as he is just dancing, where sunlight is now coming down past the now perfectly cut ceiling and flowing into the hallway in front of you, leading to a door on the right, which he points to as, the big bad sits in there. He sits upon his throne. Bad man.
Question out of character.
Sure.
Is this just Clem after having a stroke? Is that what his voice is? Because that's what it sounds like.
It kind of.
I like it.
Clem started as a goblin voice that just devolved into the finance wizard. Like, it's whatever. It's
Got it. I love it. I'm here for it. I just want to make sure that's what I was
yeah.
hearing.
It's essentially, think of like Clem is close to my goblin, which is close to my Skaven. Yes, the boof. Pass it. Weak human. Like that kind of shit. It's the same idea.
Got it. Love it. Here for it.
Is
Yeah, so you see him dancing and all that happy jazz. You hear all this nonsense. What do you do about it?
I give him a thumbs up for the destruction he caused, and then I thank him for letting us know where the bad day is.
I want to give him a high five. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were
No,
continuing.
I was just gonna ask him if he wanted to have like a fucking nap or something after that.
No. Bad, next room. Yes, must kill, murder, death. As he's just very excited, as his fingers continue to shoot sparks, as he's just like Gollum running towards the door.
I look at the rest of the party, shrug, and go, well, I guess he's helping.
Well, do you want to go ahead and let him in?
How are you doing, Nez?
I guess I'll
Oh,
walk
Okay,
past the
okay.
giant mirror.
Nez, your hearing and sight has recovered enough to bring you back to combat status. The spots have kind of dissipated. The ringing has diminished. So it's still a little bit there, but it's not as bad as it was.
so like my normal hearing in life. Got it.
Yeah, basically. You're back up to your level of normancy.
Well, what happened down that hallway?
Oh, you see it.
As I'm gonna peek around.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking obvious.
Like, well, shit.
Have you ever wondered what happens when you touch the sun? I would assume it looks something like that. No.
Yeah. As you two round the corner, you see Nameless trailing behind Okros as Okros is moving towards a door that is pointed out by the goblin. That is just to the right of where you are. Also, just so you're aware, that beam incinerated like 9 guys that were going to be part of the combat, including the 4 that were in there. So it removed a pretty sizable chunk.
Damn.
They just evaporated. It was pretty funny.
You know, something just occurred to me.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I'm not gonna say that out loud. I'm not giving you that tidbit.
Oh, you're not? You're not?
No, I realized the mistake as I was about to make it. All right.
You should say it anyways. Just
No, I'm not
just so
doing
your
that.
friends can know.
No, I'll DM them it. I'm good. We're gonna. Oh, once he's good, he's sure that Nez is good. Creed's gonna follow after the 2 troublemakers.
Ah, yes. They're the troublemakers, definitely. Yes, just
Look,
them.
I did a
No
little
one
torture,
else.
but so far, Okros hates doors, and apparently Glem found doors.
Oh god.
And Nameless is like, he's like someone said the wrong word from him just gutting like 4 people. My torture was at least constructive. So.
Yeah, so that's a whole thing that happened. So I would imagine all of you assemble on the door that Glem is pointing to.
You would like to imagine that, wouldn't you?
I would hope so, because that's where the next area is.
What's with these stairs?
That's where Barak went to go fight, or Barak, not Barak, Barak. I forgot where I put the apostrophe in his name. Barak went to fight a bunch of buttheads down there. So you can still hear the sounds of combat, but it did become a momentarily of silence as that whole Glem incident occurred. But it has returned to the sounds of clashing weapons and a laughing bugbear. Yeah, so Glem points to a door and says the bad is in there.
Son of a bitch. Sorry, that was hockey.
Nameless is watching the stick ball on his magic box again. Stick puck. My favorite pastime. Yeah, but in front of you, in front of Glem, there are 2 large stone doors. Their faces scorched significantly. A lot of the details burned away from the touch of the sun that was called down. The stones in front of it reduced to a slant as they were melted momentarily and then resolidified by the loss of the heat source. As just Glem points at it, saying, bad man, man bad.
Well, I guess he doesn't like whoever's in there.
Understandably so. They are a member of Ares' retinue, after all, are they not?
They are.
Allegedly, they.
From what information you gather, just so you are aware, this is not one of his lieutenants, like the red guy you met at Ravenholm, who was just like a lot of talk and got folded like a deck of cards. This guy is one of his captains. Like, this is one of the bigger guys that came from the west side of Etheria to hold this position. He is not a fun character, according to most of the people that Creed, quote-unquote, gained information from willingly.
Yeah, he interviewed them.
Exactly.
Very aggressively, you could say.
He had a tape recorder and a press pass the whole 20 yards.
Creed.
Yeah, just
I
ignore
was-
that the tape recorder was his sword and the press pass was his shield.
Yeah, I mean, it can be two things.
I want you to know I just did the same thing. I immediately started doing the pose, and I can't. You can't see it.
You started
Didn't
doing...
even think about that. I should hook up. I should hook up the fucking webcam to make it easier. Creed's gonna like do the pinch the chin, arm crossed underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, you could have a whole nother battalion. It could be just himself and some guards. And should we go in and attempt to negotiate? Should we just go in weapons ready? Right. But lots of factors could go into it. He's just staring at the doors. I suspect this is a situation to require careful planning and strategy.
I rolled a 21 to...
I figured that was gonna happen.
Yes,
I'm loading
Nez.
the speed with the speed loader. I'm doing the fire rounds.
Very good. So Nez loads the dread as Okros is listening to Creed as he's kind of talking, as he's like whining back, going like, and then just definitely, bonk.
Just nodding sagely as I wind up my mace, yep.
That doesn't well work in an argument, but
Counterpoint, door smash.
Mace.
As you enter the room, as Glem kind of
Uh-oh.
cracks in very quickly.
Is that a picture of what I think it is?
It may be. What do you think it is?
Is that a lich?
No.
Okay, thank God.
Thankfully.
It's probably something worse.
No.
It honestly looks closer to a Death Knight when he's... Yeah, that looks more like it.
All right, so it's 2d6. 2d6, Nez. Because they're advanced rounds.
Nice.
All right, so as you crack the doors open, you see two wizards wearing red garb, a tiefling and what looks to be a human with a weird headdress. Both holding their temples and kind of just reeling back a little bit still as they're kind of regaining their footing, as the amount of magic that was just dumped outside kind of sent like a shockwave through their brains. And so they're having a little bit of a migraine moment for a hot second. And behind them, sitting on a throne in front of a table with weapons adorning it, is just this large, imposing figure of this almost, I would say generally, a knight in blood red armor with silver trim and golden decorations, almost seeming like he's half skeletal. You can still see some human features underneath his mask, but they definitely have started to give way to a more undead feeling. He has multiple gouges in his armor. It looks like he has been through fights before. It looks like he's seasoned. His weapons look intricate and ornate. And he just kind of sits there watching you as you come in. as you can see from to your left and your right, these odd robotic statues. Robotic more along like they're metallic, not robotic. Metallic-esque statues of these soldiers against the wall. And as you enter, he just looks to you and goes, "Well, it seems our noisy guests have arrived. My name is Captain Ortreus. I am of Ares' 1st Battalion, his first captain and his most loyal. I have been sent to hold this position for the likes of my commander, and you seem to be interrupting my work. Why are you here?"
May I?
By all means.
Creed's gonna do the Thrawn thing, where he just casually crosses his arms behind his back and walks forward, chest held high. I am Watch Commander of Creed of Ravenholm, in service to Leandros, your lord. Well, shall we say we have some history? I murdered his sister. We are here because you have shot us down in an effort to prevent us from defeating a god the south. I believe the phrase is, I am the consequence of your actions.
The unforeseen consequences. Well, I apologize if my soldiers, being in their overzealous state, fired upon you and brought down whatever vessel you were traveling in. They are skittish. These new recruits that we have brought in, these conscripts, seem to think anything that moves and breathes is a target. Well, if that is what's brought you here, you have my apologies, Slayer of Artemis. It's not one usually that we find ourselves among a godsworn, a killer of the entitled. My brother knows of you, or my commander knows of you, and he, of course, sends his regards, as he always does. I imagine Leandros has also received gifts from us, but you have killed my men. You have freed the menace of a goblin that has incinerated half of my compound, and I imagine you're the ones that caused the beast to storm my gates. That means that we are at ends, Watch Commander Creed, even if we do hail from simpler homes. Now, I could let you leave, but you see, now my honor is tainted, as I will have questions to answer for, and I will not be able to simply tell Ares that I let 4 individuals breach my compound, kill my my compatriots, ruin my foothold in this region, disable my guns, and then blow up part of my compound. That will not stand. He would have me on the execution block the next morning. So that means I'm going to have to bring him your heads in repayment.
Did it again. Give the tucked in bottom lip nod.
I keep posing and no one sees it.
Oh, I'm just thinking like how he respond. I suppose that's a fair enough reason. I truly can't fault logic. So, and he's gonna kind of like side eye towards where he can feel Nameless behind him. Some of them may not agree with it. I can understand your logic. If it is to be a fight, so be it. There is, however, shall we say, an alternative.
And what may that be?
What if you brought Ares a bigger head?
Whose? may I ask, is bigger than the 4 individuals that have disrupted the peace of my watch fortress?
Oh, I'd say probably the person currently working their way through most of the arable farmland on this continent.
Oh, we've heard of that one. We know of their existence. But you see, there's a reason they're here. They tried to fight Ares himself, and lost. And so in turn, they were pushed out of the western continent and forced to go find themselves. And now they seem to have besmirched themselves across the fertile lands of the Cradle of Life. Good for them. The mountain range will keep them shut in, and they shall be of no concern to us much longer. Especially if a god killer like yourself is going to deal with him.
I don't think the argument of I can only kill gods that are my size is going to work here. I don't think that's a good argument. Really
mean-
not the time to point that out. By the way, of all the times for me expecting Nameless to do something stupid, this is probably the only time I've ever been wanting it to happen. I fully expected halfway through this conversation for him to just get shot. But proud of you. You're showing restraint. You're showing growth as a creature and as a person, and I'm proud of you.
As you are standing up against Captain Artreus, you see this wizard here has kind of come to his senses as he begins to mumble words and make hand motions to you. And as soon as you realize what he's doing, the fireball crossing the floor space in front of you, going directly towards you. You simply see the goblin step forward in front of you and just go, "No! No bad fire! No bad!" as he puts up a dome of invulnerability around you for an instant. The fireball slamming into the dome, fizzling out across its surface as it then disappears. Him staring at the wizard, his arms outstretched in crab-like fashion as Glem stares down the 2 wizards. Say, "No touch man who save. You bad magic, twisted, eradicate."
And you wanted to knock him out. I'm just saying.
You know what? You know. Oh. I'll be honest. I didn't think we were gonna be going straight to the big dude. I didn't think this. But you're right. Yes, I did want to knock him out. That was a mistake on my part. I will 100% eat crow on that. Sorry. Which one was it again?
This wizard casted a fireball, which was deflected by Glem.
And then you said just for an instant, I assume it drops down after.
Yeah. Essentially, in a flash, it just kind of hits you as you see the fire sparkle around the dome, as then the dome disappears as Glem is just like primed and ready to rumble.
Man, that is convenient. That he is 45 feet away. Yeah, Creed is just going to snap an arm out from behind his back and whip a hand axe at that guy.
Alrighty. I'm gonna need you to roll the hit.
That is a dirty 20.
Very good. Yes, quite. Let's see. I will double check his bits and bobs. Very good. So, as you throw the hand axe and he sees it coming at him, you see him create this circle of energy that floats in front of him as your hand axe sticks into it, as it just kind of floats in front of him. As you realize that he has shield and mage armor, which gives him a +5 to his AC, making it higher than your attack.
I'm gonna have to try and find this now. All I can think of is the I don't know what it is from, but it's the anime of the like the old businessman,
Mm-hmm.
and it just goes like goes from calm to like. Well, that. Well, I suppose I should have seen that coming, but it was rather rude just to set a fireball on someone. I was talking with your captain.
I was talking, damn it, as you're just like yelling at him like, ah.
I like I was talking to the captain.
The other sorcerer that's in here seems to disappear out of your sight. As with a few whispers and a gentle movement of the hands, they disappear completely. Now, as Captain Artreus steps down off his throne onto his stairs, as he goes, well, it seems the glove has been cast, the gauntlet upon the stones. Step forward. Take your initiative. And at this point, all of you will be considered in the room, unless you otherwise state yourself just outside of it. And you all now initiative time. Roll them dice.
I hate so much the fact you actually said that. Oh.
I do wish at least for Lucifer to be at the front.
That's fine. Add to initiative.
You just you do like the what's the sport where they grab the ball, they spin in circles and fucking whip it.
Like
Oh.
dodgeball.
No,
Oh,
like
no. You're talking about the Olympic sport.
yes, I
where
can't think of what it's called.
Oh, shot put.
It's
Shot
not. Yeah, shot put. Thank you.
But yeah, like I imagine that's what you did with Lucifer. He just landed on his feet.
You just
Like,
ye-
And-
you just yell sentry out, and then you just yeet them into the ether. Sentry out.
all I can think of now is Nez as Axton from Borderlands 2.
I mean, yes.
That's really what I thought of. When
Go
you
get him,
did that
sweetheart.
too.
I mean, is it bad that my brain went back to fucking Team Fortress? Like, I was just thinking the
Oh.
engineer.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Either way,
Like,
we're
I'm half expecting the next time Lucifer gets injured, fucking Ness will just be like, "Center down."
Sentry down. Sentry down. I
Wizard
swear.
sapping my sentry.
There's a rogue sapping my sentry.
Oh,
I need to.
well, gentlemen, this was a fun round. I'll see you all in the afterlife.
Did you roll really bad on initiative?
Yes, I did.
Oh no!
Bonk. I just need to have another
probably.
token out there.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be real awkward for the guy standing in the front.
I need to roll for the.
Well, I
other
mean,
wizard.
to be fair, it makes sense because you're literally sitting there, like indignantly shouting, "I was talking."
I was
that's true.
speaking.
Might as well call Creed Icarus because his pride came before the fall.
Oh. Oh. So bad news. Two of the enemies so far have rolled nat 20s for their initiative.
I was expecting
Well,
that.
shit.
So
I rolled really well, but it wasn't a nat 20. I rolled a 19, which equals 22.
And then Glem.
It's cool. I rolled in that one.
Oof.
oh, well,
All
I
right.
did better than that.
All right, so I am now ready for all your initiatives. Creed, what did you get?
I got an 8.
An 8. Okros.
So I had a total of a 2.
Huh. Okros.
I got a total of 22.
22, thank you. Nez.
2. Oh god, that was painful.
Nez.
Oh, did
He's
you not use
quiet.
it too?
Yeah, he was just
It did
really
not-
quiet.
I guess it didn't come through the mic.
No, it did come through. It's just
Well.
like, it was like the little kid, like, I got a 2.
Oh, 2.
2.
2. Nameless.
13.
13. All right. First on the docket is actually it's actually going to be Okros by a hair. So Okros, you're first.
Okay. I am going to rage.
Ah, yes, of course.
And I'm going to take that 15 feet leap towards this way, and then I'm going to sprint 25 feet at this guy and whack him a couple times because me no like fireball.
Yeah. All right. To roll the punchies. Roll the punchies.
That is a 28 for the first hit.
Yes.
Really scared if you didn't hit with that.
He may have shield and mage armor on, but he can't. That doesn't protect him from a giant lion folk with a mallet. They can only do so much.
17 damage in total.
Oh yeah, that hurts him. Yeah. Let me do some real fast. All right, cool. Continue. Because I know you got your second punchies in there somewhere.
Yes, and that one will only be a 21 to hit.
That is still a hit.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. 1. Okay, so 4 plus 11 plus 14 damage this time.
That hurts him. He's definitely feeling his Wheaties. That second hit just clobbers him as he takes a knee. As he is considered, I'm going to consider him exhausted. Because he failed his con save after taking over 30 damage in one shot. Taking a significant portion of his hit points. So he will take disadvantage on all saving throws for the rest of the duration. Mr. Okros, anything else in your pockets, sir?
I do not think so.
Ah, very good. All right, that means it brings us to the red wizard that Okros is punching as he just looks at you and goes, "Ah, my feeble bones!" As he is going to cast a cone of cold at you guys, which is a 60-foot cone of, well, cold. So all of you sly marbos, de fuckerbees, need to roll me a Constitution save, please. Why doesn't it just say that at the top? Why doesn't it just... Ugh.
I have good news for that.
What's that?
If you're near me, you get a +2. All saving throws.
Beautiful.
Although Nameless doesn't need it.
This is the first fucking time it's come into play, but the fucking magic item that you let me choose at the beginning was Boots of the Winterlands, and those give me resistance to frost.
Ah, yes. So if you pass your save, you'll take quarter damage instead of half.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I got a 24.
All right.
You said this was a con save, right?
Con save. You need to beat a 15.
I got a 23.
23. Good.
I got a 22.
Yep. I'll do it. So who basically tell me this? Who didn't get a 15 on their save? Going once, going twice.
I'm pretty sure only the guy who actively bullying the nerd.
No, it's Okros actually passed his save.
Oh.
So
I think we all passed.
yeah, you all passed it. So let me roll damage. So all of you will take 10 ice damage. Okros, you'll be taking 5 because of the boots. Because you'll take half damage again. So he pops this spell as he sees it just not really do much to any of you, especially the lion folk in front of him that he was hoping to freeze him. As he just, oh God, please don't hurt me! As he goes to run, as quick as his little legs can take. No, don't make another cone, you
Attack of
nerd.
opportunity.
Yes.
That's why I didn't like that.
He goes, help me, Captain Artrace!
28 to hit.
Ah! Yeah, you hit him again as he's running away.
Jesus.
Roll damage.
Just imagine you backhanding him into the wall.
Indeed.
Alright.
5,
no.
12.
Oh, Chris, I wanna point out.
Oh no, 15
Pretty sure these are
damage.
tables, buddy.
Oh,
Just hear me out.
Hold on. Oh, was it 15?
Yes, 15 damage.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta do a roll real quick. Yeah, I gotta. Hey, yeah. Oh, that's great. So yeah, it's how do you kill him? How do you do it? With your attack
As
of
he tries
opportunity.
to run away after looking at me in fear from me not taking any damage from his frost damage spell, I simply say, bitch, I got the boots with the fur, and then backhand him with the mace.
I hate
Jesus Christ.
And so you see this wizard just go tumbling, like head over heels, cartwheel style, just into the wall, into the table, as he's just like splayed over it, as you just knock him across. As his last words are, help me, Captain Atreus! Punk! As you just hear the captain go, these weak wizards will always be the thorn in my side I never wished for. Well, so be it. All right, so he is now super Dunyan Rings. And so I'm going to remove him from initiative because he showed up and then disappeared just as quickly. Who's the think?
Still got one more attack off from the last red mage I faced.
Yeah. I mean, he did good. He got his one spell off, or two spells off. His second spell doing nothing as he was then terrified and then just got backhanded.
Although I guess that was my fourth wall break of the day because that was in the other campaign.
Yep.
Like you understand? Like not only did you just do that, you did it while being incredibly burnt. Like you
Yeah.
just exposed the fucking sun, and bro's like, I have ice damage, and you're like, the sun didn't kill me.
There's
And then
not...
you just beat him to death but only before going, I have the boots with the fur. And those are the last words this wizard ever heard.
That's the last thing he hears before he leaves this mortal coil. Yeah. So with that, it brings us to Captain Artraeus as he looks at Creed and he's looking at Okros and he's like, an opponent worthy of my skill. As he, in turn, thank you, Zenith, I do like my hat. As he, in turn, charges and rages as he charges Okros. As he brings down his very fancy-looking longsword down at you. And he's going to swing at you twice. Hiya. That was a 16. And that was 16. Really? Really? You're going to whiff both hits? Really? You son of a bitch. All right. And then I guess he's going to have to waste his third one to hit you. And he gets you with the 29. There we go. Now we're cooking with grease. And so you will take 10 slashing damage and 20 necrotic.
I don't think I reduced the necrotic.
No,
because
you
I'm
do
raging,
reduce the
but-
slashing. Yes. So you'll take 5 slashing and 20 necrotic.
Oh no, not 13 health, 103. There we go.
I was gonna say, please no. Yeah, and that's his thing because he did his best. He tried. He tried his hardest. All right. So that's him. And as he swings down at you, he almost seems to phase, where there seems to be almost a second version of him that pops up on the field, disappearing from one spot and popping into another. As it seems that it's his turn once more, as now he simply goes to backhand Glem. You casters are a blight upon my life. Begone. As he hits Glem with a 21. And I don't remember if he has any reactions. He doesn't.
Take the hit for the little guy. No, I don't have anything.
Yep, so Glem takes... What was his hit dice again? Oh, it was 1d10. 1d10.
If I still had a shield, I could. That's it. I do not have a shield.
So you see Glem get struck down with this slice as he seems to take a pretty good amount of slashing damage as the wound begins to fester and pop as he turns his next two attacks against you, Creed, going, I will take your head to Ares. That will make my debts paid for the damages you've caused. And he goes to swing at you, and you just seem to get the leg up on him, almost if he telegraphs his attacks. His first one is a whiff with a 19. His second one is a complete whiff with a 12, as he rolls a nat 1, which means you gain advantage against him in the next attack you make against him. And then that brings us to, as that image stays, the other image still disappeared, it brings us to Nameless.
Question.
Answer.
He's undead, right?
He looks like it.
I mean, I kind of need to know.
He looks enough like it that if you don't roll any saves, you would assume.
Okay.
If you want to know concretely, you gotta give me something to roll on here.
Well, I mean, he's a favorite enemy, so... I mean, undead is a favorite enemy, so...
So you just need to give me a perception, investigation, nature. Give me something for you to take your bonus action on to really dig deep and check him with your eye bits and your ranger knowledge, see if he is truly undead.
Okay, so he said with eye bits, so that would be based on sight, so I have advantage of that with my eyes of the eagle. So I'm gonna use perception with advantage.
All right, yeah. So go ahead and roll with perception. See if you can see if he is truly undead or not.
16 with it.
So it's, again, as you're looking at him, he looks like a hybrid between both the living and the undead. And you would imagine be safe to assume that he is undead for what it's worth. You're not entirely concrete, but he looks enough of the part where if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And that's good enough for you.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna cast Healing Spirit at a 3rd level. So 3rd level spells are between what?
It would be, because you guys have the 1 stone, it would be 2 and 19.
I got a 5.
You're safe.
So I would need a token, and I want her right. Actually, I could cover him over. Okay, never mind. Hold on, I'm gonna put it right over Glem because I can
Alright.
put it wherever I want. Because it's a spirit.
Yes.
So basically, this is whenever a creature I can see moves into the spirit space for the first time on a turn, or starts a turn there, it can cause the spirit to restore 1d6 hit points to that creature. No action required. Can't heal constructs or undead, and can only heal twice because it's 1 plus my modifier. My modifier is 1, so. And then I can move it if I want to with a bonus action. So
Alright.
everyone else knows. I am then going to clock my feline agility for this turn,
Alright.
and then I want to move. Let's see, 25 feet here, and then I'm going to just. So that'd be another 30. So I need 5 more feet, so I'm just gonna 5 more feet here. Next Okras, so that way that will come back to me on the next turn. And then I'm gonna fire 2 shots with my hunting rifle
Alright.
at the undead guy.
Okie dokie.
Since he's favored, there's no advantage on those rolls, right? On the attack rolls, if he's a favored enemy.
I think if he's favored, you do get advantage, yes.
Okay.
Because you know them best, so you can hit them harder. Essentially, the ruling for it.
Okay. And that would be a 30 to hit
Yep.
on the first one. And I'm just gonna roll the hit on the second one immediately so we can see what we're rolling for damage. Oof. That was close. 24 to hit on the second.
Alright. Both hit.
Both hit. Yay. So first dabblage is a 19.
Alright.
Second dabblage is a 14.
Okay.
And I think that's all I could do, because the Healing Spirit was a bonus action. So, yeah, that's all I could do.
Alright, very good. Alright, that brings us to the Conjurer Wizard that is hiding amongst the whole arbitratum. As they... Where is it? Got too many words. I love some of these spells, but my god, there is too many words. So you see from the throne area, you see a line of the lightning fire out past it. It's also not supposed to be that wide. It's supposed to be 5 foot. Ugh, I can't make it stupid. Whatever. It's fine.
The principle is understood.
Yeah, it's a 5 foot line going out about 100 feet. It's a lightning bolt. So I'm going to need Glem and Creed to roll me a dex. A dex save, please.
Remember, little fella gets 2.
Huh? Oh, that's plus
Yeah,
2,
you get-
yes. That's right.
Yeah, he gets +2. Sorry.
Yes. So that is that for him, and then his
Got a 12.
PB is what? Where the fuck is it on this goddamn thing? 6. Does he have just a All right, so he saves it by the skin of his teeth. And what'd you get, Creed?
Got a 12.
Got a 12. Okay. That is not high enough to save. So I need to roll a dabblage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hiya. So you'll be taking 33 lightning, and Glem will be taking 16. Glem's not looking too hot. He's definitely not happy. He's having a bad time. And then that is... What else can the wizard do? No, he burned his action. He did that. That's a reaction. All right, cool. So that is all the secret wizard can do, as they still remain unseen to the mortal eyeball. All right. That brings us to Glem, who is now very upset as he's been hit by everything.
He also gets healed 1d6.
Yes, he does get healed 1d6. That is correct. He gets a nice 5 hitty points back. I'm going to move your spirit because he's going to...
Excuse me, I apologize. It's 2d6.
2d6, okay.
Because it's that at their level. Yeah.
So he gets 10 back. Very good.
Even better.
Even better! Alright, I'm moving your spirit because he's going to use his bonus disengage action to scoot away from the knight, and I'll replace the spirit. As he just becomes very upset, as he's just... Now, you've seen him before in his joyous, with especially all of his happy-go-lucky nature. But now it seems that he has become almost irate as his emotions begin to jut past the surface. And so that is a... Let's... God, again, with all these damn words... Let's see, because he has it in here. Don't perceive me. Yeah, he is very upset. He's spaghetti. Let's see if he has what I'm looking for in here. Yes, this is... oh no, that is a different thing entirely. There it is. Yes, delicious. So it's... You see him just start to dance in a circle, his hands raising up above him. As, Creed, you can notice through the open doors, the sky is getting dark again. As he brings down... Is that 60? Is it 60-foot radius? Oh, it's 60-foot radius. Let me fix that.
Am I allowed to say anything to him before he brings Mars crashing down on us?
It's not Mars. It's... He does take the time as he's kind of irately doing it. He has to charge this up. As he begins kind of dancing in a circle, the light kind of building from, as you see a small ball of light on the chest of the captain beginning to grow in intensity and size very slowly, as with the fester, it's just like, bad man touched, no, pain, you will not hurt Glem again, ah! As he starts to pull apart this ball of light that's sitting on the captain's chest. As, who here has Arcana knowledge?
Mine's at a plus
I
0.
doubt it, but I'll check.
I got a +1.
I actually have a +1 as well.
Those who would like to try and figure out what the fuck is happening, you may roll.
So I He is a
Oh my
goblin,
fucking
and I
god,
do
I
have.
rolled a nat 20. I'm not even kidding.
Never
What
mind.
the fuck?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore.
Never mind.
Doesn't matter.
As you're all staring at this goblin just dancing around, it's just becoming increasingly maddened as he's just freaking out over the fact of being hit by the bad man that he wanted to deal with, the fact that he is taking damage, the fact that he is kind of stuffed into a corner as he is a small goblin. Okros, you look at the ball of light on the captain's chest as you see Glem beginning to ritually chant these words as they're just between his screeching anger. And you realize that he's about to cast a very powerful version of Sunburst, which is not the spell that he used outside, thankfully, but it is much akin to Krillin's Solar Flare. But instead of coming from him, he can put it at any point he can see within 150 feet.
Oh.
And so you know in your mind that that is just a massively powerful radiant damage spell that blinds everything within its radius. And most of the time when used by wizards, they'd be able to discern friendlies from not and to give them a word of warning when they cast it. But because Glem is doing this in such a way where he's not telegraphing what's happening, you have the knowledge as he's not telling you, and so now you get the ability to warn your compatriots over what's happening, and you guys can kind of deal with it as you see fit.
Damn it, Creed, why didn't you knock him out when you had the chance? Sorry, I had to.
You are such a hypocrite.
Speaking of Creed, it's now your turn, sir.
I assume I can see this light. I just don't know what it means.
Yes, you do see
Yeah.
a wide-eyed lion folk across the way, but you do not know what this ball of light is.
Is he wearing full plate?
Yes, and with a shield.
Heat metal! I don't know if you have that. That'll be me.
I do not.
Oh.
So... I might have found a loophole. Oh no, I only have one. Damn it.
Uh-oh. Sad boy times.
Cast protection from energy on myself and stab him. just ride the fireball down.
You're just gonna ride it out. All right. So, what energy are you declaring your protection from?
Like I can't do that and stab him though. I only have one action.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool. I'll let you do it.
Emphasis roll?
Emphasis roll time.
Oh no. I don't know. All I know is last time he unleashed the power of the fucking sun. So I'm gonna guess fire. He's gonna go with fire.
All right. So you're gonna put protection from fire on as you go to stab the death. Essentially, we'll just call him a Death Knight just to make everything easy. To make it simple in qualification.
I want to try to stab Captain Atreus.
Okay. Roll to stab.
That's an 18.
That is a miss. Roll to stab again.
Yeah, that's a miss. That's a 12.
Ah, very good. Anything else in your pocket, sir?
I really just wanted to stab him so he can't try to get away.
I mean, that's fair.
I'd like to Okay, so this is I haven't thought about this before now. But how high off the ground is Lucifer's weapon?
Lucifer stands at about like 3.5 feet tall. Like he's a normal size of like a regular sentry gun. So his weapon is about, I would say, 3-ish off the ground. If we're going off modeling.
Trying to figure out who I want to try to block. Because Glem's about to do something stupid.
That is definitely obvious.
But he's also pretty fucked up right now. Well, I can't do that. So, I guess Creed's gonna head over to Glem
All right.
and more or less try to just block anything from hitting him again.
You're basically just gonna body block.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm assuming whatever's gonna happen to this fella, it's whatever's on his chest is not gonna go well.
More than
one
likely.
thing, actually, before I'm done, Creed is going to yell back to Nez, Glem's doing something to him! You might want to get back! And the turn there.
All right. At this point, as Nez, it is your turn. Okros, you can yell across the formation. What you're seeing.
I will communicate that it looks like, well, it's a powered-up solar flare. It's gonna hurt and blind you. It's radiant damage, right? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a radiant blast. It'll blind you and hurt.
This is where Creed goes, fuck. Because you chose fire.
Oh, no.
Arnar.
All right. Okros, you yell that across as you start filling with your belt, as you asked me, trying to look for that thing you want. Mr. Nez, what do? You see the big dude in front of you, ball of energy on his chest. Lucifer's in front of you. You got your gun. What got?
For one, I'm going to do Protector again because I know at least the people near me do not have temp health anymore.
All right.
Drop my dice.
How dare.
4 plus 4, so 8 temp for
Good.
Glem, Creed, and myself.
Nice. All right, what else you got?
I'm like debating, I'm like, I could possibly run out. Would I know the radius of
Oh, yeah. If it's coming from Glem, you can imagine it's a pretty large radius. Especially with the panicked words coming from Okros, who is usually never panicked in his life.
Yeah, he never had to drink that coffee.
So basically, I would know this is the radius, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you'd have a pretty good guesstimate of like, oh, this is gonna be a bad time. Like if you wanted to get out, you'd have to get out of the room.
I'd have to use my action.
You would also like these walls will block the radius. Like if you go on the other side, it won't hit you because these are still solid material. So if you go into the hallway, you would be safe. Or if you go here, you'd be safe.
Yeah.
So are you just deucing? Are you just trying to get the fuck out of there?
I was like, because I'm kind of hurt. I'm not trying to like drop and not be able to help at the same time.
Right.
Because I'm like trying to think what's best for the team. That's why like I used Lucifer as Protector first. I had a different idea, and then Glem did that, and now my entire idea is like,
Glem doesn't have a good wisdom score, surprisingly, because he's a
like
goblin.
my monk?
Yeah.
You don't say.
You're telling me the goblin who like desperately needs like some sort of focus. Not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed.
Oh no, he has very high intelligence. It's just his emotional
Yeah.
and normal reasoning is garbage. I mean, it's a 12.
He's like an ADHD goblin.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a 12, so it's not that bad, but it was bad enough that when he got hit, his temper flared, which is why we are here in this situation now.
Because that movement, I do want to do like one thing before I leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to like just double check that. I will shoot at the captain with my dread.
All right, you're running and go, nah, fire at him and you're running. All right, roll the hit.
Because originally I thought I was going to have to use my action to dash, basically.
Right.
Fully Yajirobe move, just saying. If Yajirobe had a gun.
Yeah.
And that's a
Ooh, running. Sorry, go ahead.
So.
I talked over you, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, I missed horribly.
Oh, very good.
No.
Your shot
But
goes wide as you
already,
are
like,
running.
no.
You're just like, nah, I'm getting out of here.
Like,
Guys, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Do you leave
It's
Lucifer
kinda nice to see
behind?
if you hit the invisible person.
You know what? Actually,
even if Lucifer, like, I actually rolled a nat 1 as I was running.
oh yeah.
So for
Oh,
the fun
geez.
of this, like, yeah.
You shot wide as you ran. Is Lucifer staying behind?
Even if I was to bring Lucifer, his move speed's only 15.
Yeah, so he would just barely get out of the door.
Actually, hang on a second. Double across my feature there. Where is it? Hey, look at that! How close? Oh, wait, that's not. Yeah. So, how close was Lucifer to me? About 5 feet.
10. He's 10.
Oh no, how close was he when we started? He was right next to me, right?
Yeah, before you moved.
He gets an extra 10 feet. Get away.
Very good. He's got 25 move speed from the start of combat. Nice.
So he can get out of here.
He can scoot outside the door and just no.
Just enough.
Yeah. All right. Is that you, Mr. Nez?
Yep.
All right.
And whatever
Brings
you want
us.
to do with that nat 1.
I mean,
the shot going wide.
I mean, let's check the sweet percentile dice. Nah, nothing bad happens. It just goes right and just falls into the rock or something. It just plinks off of somebody far away. Who's to say?
I wanted to see if something happened.
No, it wasn't critical enough on the percentile for me to worry about it. Brings us to the top of the turn order of Mr. Okros. It is you, sir.
All right. I am going to drink the potion of invulnerability and then use my bonus action to shield Nameless.
Very good. Taking the
Gift is
Piccolo
already in the
stance.
chat.
Taking
The gift is already in the chat.
taking that Piccolo stance. Just nah. Very good. As then we come to.
I told him he should have hugged me again.
He should have hugged me. You should have hugged me. As
I mean, it could be a hug shield if you want.
I feel like that would be more on the line of what we do here.
Oh,
Yeah,
hang
fair
on
enough.
a second.
as
I
the
Pick him up to shield him.
as you do that, you see the one image become almost translucent as the translucent image that was behind you reappears into full opacity. He's like, "Hey there, missed our bout," as he goes to take a swing at Nameless. Oh my fucking god. He rolled a fucking nat 1 on his first strike against you. Alright, that's cool.
Oh,
That's real
I'm
fucking
the only
cool.
one tonight.
Yeah. No, he's really sucking eggs. He does hit you with his second strike out of 3. He apparently just whiffs his third strike, completely dunks on his first one, and you're gonna take 3 slash and 10 necro from that because you're gonna take half damage from his second strike because of his natural 1.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, the armor I'm wearing, right?
Yep.
Wasn't it something about when I take damage?
Only during a dex save.
Oh,
If
okay.
it's
Fair enough.
like a AoE is when that happens. If it's like an actual a natural hit, no, it doesn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you take a little bit of a bop as he just kind of undercuts you with the longsword, and it gets you on the fat end of it, and just doesn't do as much as he wanted because he's screwed up again. As the image fades in and out, as he's back to where the glowing orb is, as he's standing between a healing spirit and Creed, as he approaches menacingly towards Creed, as he just goes, "I'm tired of these games. Stand still and be smited." As he gets a 21 to hit on the first strike against you, Mr. Creed.
AC is 24.
Ah, very good, very good. Second,
Why could I
Jesus
hear you
Christ.
dabbing when you said that?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I could feel the
I
dab.
actually leaned back, to be honest. A little bit
Yeah.
further. It's like,
Fair
at
enough.
24.
And he
Excuse
rolls
me.
another nat 1 on his second strike. Jesus Christ. And gets a 22 on his third strike. Jeez. Alright, great. You get advantage on 2 strikes against him now because he keeps whiffing these hits.
Oh my god.
I'm not one to fudge rolls behind the screen because I hate it. There are certain times where I'll fudge it, but if it's rolling naturally for hits, I'll be like, no, he's gonna miss. But my God, man, you are supposed to be the angry captain in this room. Fucking hit somebody, please. You are a CR-17 monster with a +11. Hit somebody. God.
This is CR-17 you're talking
Well,
about.
to be fair, I feel like that might actually be if you had said something, it could have been intentional. None of you are worth me even trying to hit.
I mean, it could be that, except that he's definitely trying to hit you. It is not he can play it off yeah, the sun was in my eyes. You're not worth my energy. It's no, he is in an even
It's
match
about
with
to
you
be.
guys. Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Thought to ask this before.
Uh-huh.
So this spell, this is both an out of character and then followed with an in character question. Is there any immediate splash that would just fucking kill me here? Because that's the out of character question for the spell. The in character is, could I use my reaction when Glem actually casts his spell to basically cover him? Because I'm pretty sure whatever comes off is going to kill him.
I mean, if you want to say that you burn your turn to cover Glem from whatever may be going to happen from the spell, I'll let you do it.
I'm fine with that.
Well, I mean, my turn is next. I can heal him
Yes.
more.
Yeah. Nameless, it is your turn now. As you see Okros takes the Piccolo stance in front of you, the captain popped up behind you in his ethereal form, hit you with the back end of the blade before disappearing as you see him just absolutely get countered by Creed at the other side of the room. What do you do?
So I'm gonna have my Fae move right over Clem again.
All right.
So it started his turn. He can get some more health back. I'm being kind of hug shielded, so Mr. Okros, if you want to turn me in the direction of this fuck, I can shoot him again.
I mean, would I be able to turn back around to shield
Yes.
you again? Because
Yeah.
otherwise...
It's going to be more in line of Nameless is going to put his rifle over your shoulder and just
Okay,
put
yeah,
rounds at him. It's You're essentially moving to block, but you know when it goes off, you're essentially going to turn and like wrap yourself around Nameless. So at this point, it's like this is happening within seconds. So Nameless is going to like put shots off before you fully wrap him up as you go to see it detonate.
Okay.
Yeah, so Nameless, you can just roll your hits normally.
Still advantage or no?
Yeah, because you're shooting him in the back at this point as well.
Okay, that's it. Double advantage? I like it.
No double advantage. It's not real.
28 on the first one.
Yep, that's it.
And it's 23 on the second.
Yep, 2 hits.
Okay. First damage. Oh, son of a bitch, it was so close! It's 20 damage, but it was almost 30.
Hmm.
And second damage is 12.
All right, you put 2 more shots in him that sees to go through his plate and into his body cavity. You definitely see it do some damage. As you kind of pull yourself back behind Okros as he kind of turns to wrap you up as he feels the energy starting to build in the room. You see the Conjurer Wizard come back into vision as it seems that they have begun to panic. And so they try to essentially, they're going to try and do a dispel.
Since he does that, can I do a bonus action real quick?
What's your bonus action?
Org. So I can see through the abilities of their eyes, or see through their eyes of what they see.
I mean, for like, you can do it through beasts, not people. That's how you did it last time, is that your druid had to wild shape before you could do it.
It just says a creature on here, so I wasn't sure.
It's meant to be closer to like an actual creature. I mean, I could have worded it better, but essentially animals.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that's why I thought like it would work. Okay, never mind then.
My mistake on that one.
No, misunderstanding. It's all good.
So they are going to try and cast Dispel Magic on the ball of light that is attached to their captain as they have begun to panic. As they are seeing this energy beginning to build in the room. And they're going to roll their best to try and stop it. And what is their plus for it? It is their spellcast. Where the fuck is it? Spellcast ability 6. Oh no. They go to cast a spell, and as the magic they reach out towards the ball of light, it makes the ball of light angrier and grow faster, as they are not able to dispel it. Yeah, so that's their turn as they're panicking. As they try to move out of the room as they cast that, and I don't think they have enough speed. I think theirs is 30? Yes. So they essentially run towards the doorway just in a panic, but lay short of it as it falls to Glem's turn. And so, Creed, you said that you are disengaging your turn to cover Glem from whatever damage may come.
Yes.
All right. So you do that. Glem gets 2d6 from the healing spirit. So he gets another 10 hit points back. Very good. Delicious. As you see the ball of energy expand outward as you dive in front of him, as he just yells, "Ban you!" as he just screams as his ball of light explodes outward in a shockwave. Okros, I imagine your potion vulnerability will just make you completely immune to damage, as I imagine in my brain bits, if I'm correct.
Let me double check it, but I presume
I'm pretty sure
it's what I did.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. In the higher 97%, sure, just based on the name. So I need everybody in the room to get Dexy. Or con saves. My mistake. I need a con save from Creed since you're shielding Glem. Glem will get an advantage on his because of your body checking.
Plus, you guys also gets +2.
And he also gets +2, so let's him pass.
Yeah, no.
The wizard.
It says resistance to all damage, so I don't know if that makes me actually. Is that?
It halves all damage coming into you.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, is still pretty fucking good. If it's just like, all damage is halved forever. It's like, oh, well. So, wizard doesn't save it. The captain...
What do you need from me?
You'll be doing advantage con on yours. That's just to see if you get affected by the actual light. The damage is going to get soaked by Okros.
So the damage would be the lowest, right? Or the highest?
Yeah.
Still, or no?
Yeah, the highest.
Highest?
Yeah.
Okay, 21.
Yeah.
I don't get the +2 anymore, do I?
No. You're outside of the radius, but that's fine. Of course, the captain rolls on that one for his con save, because, of course, I'm just getting all of those tonight, fighting myself, as is tradition. Okros, what did you get?
You said it was a...
Con save.
Sorry, what?
Con save.
Con save, sorry. That is a... I don't think I have advantage on those, do I?
I think as a Raging Barbarian you should. I think, or this is just strength.
Maybe? One sec. Right, here we go. No, it just says strength.
Alright, do you beat a 16?
I do by 1.
Well, then you do it. Alright, so for everyone who beat a 16, we're going to be rolling some damage die real quick, like. And I will delve out what it is. So, it's only 32 damage in total, which is low rolls for a 12d6 sunburst. So, Creed, you said you failed your save, yes?
Yep.
So you will be blinded. And you can make another con save at the end of your next turn, ending the effect. But you will be taking 32 radiant damage. Glem will be taking half of that, or a quarter of that, because of your body, so he takes 8. Okros, you'll be taking even less of that because of your invulnerability, so you'll be taking 8 as well. And Nameless, you are not blinded. The wizard takes the full 32 to the face, or the sorcerer takes the full 32 to the face and is also blinded. So I gotta get some little rings of remembrance here. Blinded. He's blinded. Creed's blinded.
Would you say they were blinded by the light?
They were blinded by the light. That is true. Then Okros, you took 8. Nameless takes no damage. It isn't blinded. Glem is not blinded. Takes small amount of damage. Creed is blinded. Takes damage. The wizard is blinded. Takes damage. The Death Knight takes double that, so he takes 64 and is also blinded. And so, yeah, everyone is having a real bad time as this wave of fire sweeps the room, as Nez and Lucifer is unaffected as they are outside.
From inside the room, all they hear is...
Yes. Blind. Seth, you can't ban the word of the condition that the players have gained. You monster.
I mean, it looks like
what
he
was that
did.
word again?
Wow.
All of your eyes don't work. That's it. The condition spreads to everybody. Nobody's eyes get to work anymore. Yeah, so the markers on the board is what you see. That is the end of Glem's turn, as he now gains exhaustion, because he's pushing himself past his limits at this point with his little goblin body. Creed spends his action to protect Glem, which he did with gusto, which brings us to Mr. Nez. You see this blinding flash exit the room, and in an instant it is gone, and you feel it is safe to re-enter.
So, I'm gonna do partial movement for the moment,
That's good. Yes.
and get Lucifer to come back in.
Yeah, you see
I'm going.
the scene in front of you as you round the corner is if someone dropped the world's biggest flashbang in the room. You see Okros in the back hugging Nameless, as now the back of his body is now as tan as his front is. You see Creed on his side as he has rolled over, as he's a little bit toasty. But he's covering his eyes as he's not having a good time. His skin is now tan on his front. Glem is kind of sitting against the wall, exhausted. The wizard that was firing lightning at you is grabbing at her eyes and screaming as she's kind of kneeling on the ground. And the captain, his eye sockets seem to have been burned out completely as his body is now smoking from whatever spell just unleashed on him. And that's the scene you walk back into. It's like the scene from, Community, where he walks into the apartment, everything's on fire, and people are swinging shirts and shit around. And he's like, I got
he
pizza!
Just walks in with pizza, just, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's essentially what you walk into. So what do you do?
Lucifer's gonna use his flamethrower at the source.
Yep. You
You know you just had a bad experience with fire. Hear me out, buddy. Or just said more.
Hear me out. Take this. What's the dex save
Dex
on it?
16.
16. Okay. They have disadvantage because they are super eyes no worky.
I mean, they've been sun-dried now. It's perfect.
They
They're
are
kindling
sun-dried.
for it.
They're kindling. Yeah, they fail, so roll full damage, please.
3. God.
Hey, I see your eyes don't work. It'd be a terrible shame if you got turned into a shish kebab. Just whoosh.
12 and 4 is 16. So that'll be 16 damage.
Yeah, it's
Lucifer.
yeah, they're not having a good time. They're now on fire.
Off of this, I'm gonna move here, and I can use. I'm gonna take out my needle gun and aim at Okros, and I'm gonna shoot him with adrenaline, which will give him haste.
Gonna give the barbarian haste. A beautiful, beautiful combo.
And that will be my turn.
Okros, for your reference, for haste, your speed is doubled. You gain a +2 to your AC. You will have advantage on dex saving throws, and you gain an additional attack on each of its turns.
It's a full action, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if he has a double attack for an action, he gets 2.
Yeah.
more.
So you basically can attack 4 times instead of twice, or you can do like a dash, disengage, hide, or utilize, etc., etc. When the spell ends, the spell lasts it will last a minute due to the concentration of the drug that was used. So at the end of that minute, you'll become incap as you essentially just have a wave of lethargy come over you. But that is 10 rounds in, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, no.
But yeah, you are now the Hasted, and I'll have that up for reference if you require it. Which brings us to Okros. It is now your turn, sir, as you remove yourself from the shield hug you had around Nameless.
All right. I'm going to... I presume it's 20 feet to get to him. It's just the size of the token, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can touch the outside of the token and be within punching distance.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a large.
And, so he is currently disoriented and kind of incapacitated in a manner, is he not?
He is, at this point, he cannot see, and that basically gives you advantage on if you're going to be punching him, as also with the grapples, because he can't actually see what to do to counter you.
Okay, well, I don't like this guy, so I'm going to attempt to grapple him and dump my pouch of absolute dryness down his throat.
All right. So he gets disadvantage on this little throw here. Go ahead and roll your advantage on your strength check for your grapple, sir. Fuck, is he on my list? There he is.
That is a 23.
Yeah, he fails it. He is now both loss of eyeballs and now grappled.
Alright. I'd like to grab him by the top of his head, rip his head backwards, and dump down his mouth. With the pouch.
What? Oh.
I have to add another ring to him. He now has glasses.
I feel like you could have worded that a lot differently.
No,
that's why I added with the pouch afterwards, but you know.
The hesitation is really what has me worried, I'm not gonna lie.
You can't see anything. You be quiet. You don't know what's happening.
Yeah, Mr. Blind Man, shut up.
Mr. Blind Paladin over there, you can't say nothing about this. Yeah, so you spend your 2 actions to essentially grapple him and then basically pull back his helmet off of him to dump the pouch of absolute dryness into him. And he starts to choke and cough as he begins to aspirate, as whatever moisture was left in his body begins to get soaked up by the dust. As you begin to see what this dust actually does is it begins to grow and clump as it's exposed to moisture. And if it touches its skin, wherever there is still flesh, per se, has begun to desiccate further, stretching and conforming to the bones underneath of it. Anything that's gone to his throat has begun to clump up in it, kind of stopping him from breathing as well. He is coughing and just like fervently trying to shake off of you, but he can't see what's going on. He is just fervently trying to break free by any sense of the word. And he definitely
touched my friends.
Yeah. This is really great, as I had made this as a pretty decent fight, and now he's being punked by a bunch of blind people. This is amazing. So, Mr. Okros, is that your turn, sir?
I think that's all I can do, but I'm still grappling him. So
mm-hmm. you still got him in that hold of yours, and so he is gonna try and break free, which I saw what they did in the new 5E.5, whatever it's called. They made grappling really fun, where you set the DC based on it's a 10 plus your strength plus your proficiency. So that's how you set the DC as a player character against NPCs. So it makes it easier instead of having to do constantly roll-offs. If you just have like high stats, you're just going to have a high DC. So like yours, because your strength like 23 would be your proficiency plus that bonus plus 10 to be the DC to escape it.
Yeah, that would be a little tough for people to escape from, that's for sure.
Which, even with that, knowing those modifiers, he's still rolling a disadvantage because he has no eyeballs that work currently, because Seth banned the word I'm supposed to be using for this condition. So he rolls low and he cannot escape it. as his actions are burned to there, or his first action, and his second action, as he just starts screaming, or well, almost like, I don't know how to describe it. Gargling, I guess. No, it's Seth. The band will be on.
Scream through fluid, then yeah, I guess it would.
It's
like
screaming through cornstarch that's like touching water. Like it's not easy. And Seth, no, I never put a time limit on how long the ban is, so it will just go on because I find the bit funny. So shush, don't you back out on me, boy. That's funny shit.
It lasts the stream.
It lasts the stream. Fuck it, it's fine. So he is going to just start gurgle screaming past this semi-solids beginning to grow in his throat as he just begins to grow this magic orb from between his hands and hurls it down at the ground at his feet. It is a 20-foot sphere. I think it's this one. Yes. As he just throws it into the ground in exasperation, as I need a dex save from Glem, Creed, Nez, the Wizard, and Okros.
Good news, +2 to both Glem and Nez.
And I'll say that it passes to Okros as well. He's technically close enough, it's just his token's a little bit out of range.
Oh, okay. And you said I have advantage on dex saves because of the haste, right?
Yes. On dex saves, yeah. So
That's an 18.
All right. That's actually a pass. Did you roll at disadvantage because you have no eyeballs?
Oh.
Okay, so the other roll gave me a 23. So
you still have the 18.
Yes.
And, all right. So you're still fine. Look at that.
Still covering Glem though.
Yep, you're still covering Glem. The wizard fails. Glem, because he's exhausted, fails. Unfortunately, Okros, what did you get?
I got 12 plus my 3, and you said I got a +2 from him, right?
Yes.
So 17.
And you rolled with advantage?
Yes. Okay. My other roll was like an 8. It was not good.
All right. So you do not make the DC of 18. And then Nez, what'd you get?
The exact same.
You got a 17 as well?
17.
All right.
12, 3, and a 2.
All righty. All right. This is where pain happens. As his last hurrah, because he is also in the orb. And so he's going to auto-fail it.
On the bright side, he finally hit someone.
Yes, he did. So... Alright, so this is where the fun begins. So the first damage type, to those who do not pass it, is 32 fire damage. If you did pass it, it is halved.
I still have resistance, so I get it halved. Though, right?
You have it halved again, so you would take 8 from the fire.
Wait, so I take 8.
Oh yeah, true, because you did the elemental resistance to fire.
Yeah, you did.
No. Well, actually, so... Well, I shot myself in the foot there now that I think about it. By my race, I have resistance to fire.
So you would take it halved again. So you would technically, because you passed it, and you have the protection on, you would take 8, but because you're a tiefling, you'd actually take 4. So you take 4 fire damage, Creed.
I'm fine with that. That number's getting lower.
Yeah. I will say, because you push yourself in front of Glem, he will also only take 4.
All right, nice.
Just because of the fact that you're body checking this whole thing. The knight takes the full 32, Nez takes 32, Okros takes 32, the wizard takes 32. And then comes the second phase of the damage, which is necro damage. Which is 40 if you failed it. So Okros and Nez, you would take 40 necro. The wizard takes 40 necro. Creed, you would take 20 necro. Actually, no, Okras, you'd also take 20 because of the invulnerability potion. You wouldn't take 40, you take 20. So Creed and Okras will take 20. Glem will take the 20 Necro because of Creed's body blocking. And then the captain will take the full 40. So go ahead and compile those damages for me, everybody. Make sure your hit points are where they're supposed to be as he just detonates his spirit bomb underneath of him. This wizard is super dead. She is Dunyan Rings. She gets reduced to a puddle of goo, which is unfortunate for her. Glem is somehow still alive. The captain is not looking super great. Even though the necrotic damage technically would heal him, it wasn't really enough to counteract the rest of the damage that he just took from everything else. So, Nez, how are you looking there?
I'm hanging by a thread with 3 hit points.
Nice. Nice.
Don't worry, buddy. You're doing better than I am.
Nice. All right. So, Glem is very, very sliverly alive. So is Creed. Okros, I imagine you're doing okay, you damn tank. And the captain is not doing super hot as he's stuck in one spot. Which brings us to the captain's second stage of initiative where he's going to try and break free.
Oh.
He's going to try and do his con save. Which he fails again. Nah.
Yes.
He tries to break out. And he rolls at disadvantage, so that nat 20 he rolled means nothing to me. So he's still grappled. He's still blinded. And can't fucking do anything else. I don't think he's got anything else. Yeah, everything else requires hands. Or an action. Yeah, because he has smite, but he can't throw punchies. Because he's grappled by the fucking lion folk. No, he can't do that. He can't do that. That wouldn't help anything. Yep, that wouldn't help anything. Cool. All right, so he's out of actions, so it moves on to Nameless.
I feel like I haven't been involved in like an hour.
It has been a
yeah,
mosh
so
pit.
I'm sorry, I've been a little busy
Yeah.
dying. I'm sorry that you're not feeling very involved.
I'm sorry, you're dying. I can't hear you. So my healing spirit is gone because it healed twice.
Yes.
So I won't feel so bad about casting Hail of Thorns at level 3.
I mean, yeah, you can do it. Roll between the 2 and the 19.
I got a 4.
You're good.
Okay. I am going to reposition myself over here. Although I guess it doesn't matter because Okras is kind of grappling him, huh?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just gonna do the same thing. So 2 shots with the hunting rifle at advantage.
Yep. Yepers.
Triple advantage because he's blinded and no, I'm just kidding.
No triple advantage. You can't roll 6 d20s.
Oh.
That's not how this works.
19 for the first.
Doesn't hit, surprisingly.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 and a 7, so that
Oof.
was terrible.
Nah.
And then 23 to hit for the second.
That is a hit.
Hit damage is at 11. That was terrible. Come on. Hail of Thorns damage is an extra 16. 27 in total.
Yep. So it's, you hit him and he's full of holes. He's full of drying dust. He's grappled by lion folk. He's burned himself, melted a little piece of him. He's not looking great. He's definitely looking like he's on his last leg to some extent or another. Do you have any other actions, Mr. Nameless?
Well, if you would have killed the thing over here, I would have, but it's dead. It's done in ring, so.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I have nothing else.
Yeah, all right. Which
Wait,
brings...
is Creed already dead?
No, Creed's alive. It's Glem's turn as he's shakingly brings himself back to his feet as he has a very small amount of hit points left, as he just kind of stands there menacingly looking at the captain. As he you know what, I'm actually going to see. All right, we're going to roll some wisdom dice real quick. Because I want to see what his reasoning is for what he does next. Because he has two different pathways he can do. He can either take the hero's route or the coward's route. And we're going to see which one he does.
Oh. So you remember, who was it? I believe... Yes, it was Mr. Okros. So you remember how you asked me if I could impose disadvantage? And I said I don't have a shield?
Mm.
Guess what I just remembered I have?
I thought you had a shield, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it, I'll be honest. I forgot, and, yeah, fun fact, I do have a shield.
Oh, well.
Oops.
So, he rolled low on his wisdom, which means he's going to, unfortunately, take the path of the hero. Which is a hero to him, and maybe not to you guys.
Uh-oh.
So, you see him stand up as he takes another level of exhaustion to do this. And he begins to chant and dance as he just starts yelling about, "Make bad men disappear! Bad men disappear! Disappear!" As he continues to yell and yell and yell, as he claps his hands together, you guys find yourselves outside of Watcher's Rest, back at the Valkyrie. All standing where you are, but now around the cockpit of it. The sand against your boots and everything else in between. As you don't really know what just occurred. Okros, you're still in grappling motion, but there's nothing in your arms. Creed, your eyesight is restored. Nez, you and Lucifer are standing as you were slightly flambéed a little bit. Nameless, you're kind of just standing back, readying your rifle and reloading it as you see that you are now staring at the front of your airship. The ground around you begins to shake. As you look to the distance of Watcher's Rest, you can see as this just a massive amount of energy begins to build, as you see this green and blue lightning begin to streak out from its walls in all directions. As it just detonates in a flash of light. As you essentially see Watcher's Rest explode in a nuclear explosion. The shockwave throwing the sands of the scorched desert across all of you, knocking you onto your backs as the ground just shakes violently. The town of Scoradune, the walls of it even begin to rumble, stones of it falling off, as the people inside begin to yell and scream in fear and panic. As this blinding light flashes across the sky before the telltale mushroom cloud begins to rise up. And you all stand in awe and horror as Watcher's Rest has been removed from the map entirely. A final wish from a sorcerer who didn't want to see anything happen to anyone else like this again, removed the entire place from the map. A small letter seems to flutter down through the air and land in between all of you. You pick it up as you see that it is seemingly addressed to you, the party in general.
Seems to be a letter for us. Also, if Creed is actually laying down, I will help him up.
Ogres, if you don't mind, please.
I will assist Creed in getting it.
You do so as you all begin to feel the wounds that you suffered, the conditions you suffered, begin to slowly ebb away as if they never happened. As it just seems to be that whatever magic that goblin pushed out at the last moment, that he seemed to demand the hero sacrifice in his mind as he wished for none of this to ever occur again. The letter reads very swiftly, in very broken English, broken common in this essence. To individuals. Glem hopes surface was not too hard of landing. Life was well spent before, but now I hope not mad at Glem. Glem chose life over death, chose pain over sorrow, chose sacrifice over need. Glem happy with choice. Glem happy to have been allowed choice. Glem not needed. Glem not wanted. Glem finished what Glem started. You find parts close. Ship fix, body fix. Go, fight, win. Signed, Glem.
Well,
Hell of a way to go out.
indeed, it was quite the light show.
To every man upon this earth, death cometh slowly. But how can man die better? These think fearful odds. For the ashes of his fathers, the temples of his gods. Thank you, Glem.
You begin to notice crates of parts have appeared around the Valkyrie. As you begin to hear her systems kick back on, the engines coming to a whine, as little hands, little tiny robots, homunculi if you will, begin to come out and pull parts inside. As you can see her systems come back online, the landing gear riding herself, pulling the nose out from the sand. As the town of Scordoon continues to recover from that much violent shaking, the people inside kind of recovering from what happened in the bright light, a lot of them stepping out from the walls, whispering and yelling and pointing towards the distance. And all you can see is just the faint silhouette of the mushroom cloud behind the mesas that mark the Scorched Temple's location. You didn't know the goblin long, but he decided to choose his own fate as a testament to the will of his own. Though some would call his sacrifice unnecessary or unneeded, it was his choice, and so, in turn, he chose. But now the Valkyrie is fixed, or in the process of being so. You will be ready to leave in but a few hours, as the small homunculi continue to build and repair what they can. Nez following them very inquisitively, figuring out how they work, as you all kind of feel your wounds ebb off your bodies, as even the damage from the necrotic rot the captain was using seems to disappear. It's hard to understand why someone who you just met, who was locked in a cell for nothing more than being a conscript and a prisoner, would do something so bold. But sometimes, as you've been told before, is that life is but an interweaving lines of fate that all seem to run together, and eventually a knot forms. And one single line is all it takes for that knot to dissipate. Sometimes it's as simple as a roll of the dice. And here you are. Within a few hours, the ship is ready to go. Your quarters have been restored, the damage undone by means beyond your understanding. And it seems that you are ready to go to the Cradle of Life to face Shiva. Or at least find out what exactly they're doing down in the farmlands. What do you do?
Creed is going to go be all alone for a little bit. I can keep going. I didn't know if anyone else wanted to do anything first.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna go back into like the engine quarters and check on Lucifer, give him a good tune-up because of everything that just happened.
Yeah, I'll head to the pantry area and start getting stuff ready. So that we have food to eat.
Nameless, what do you do at this time?
I go to sleep.
Very good.
I go CBs.
As you all enter the Valkyrie, you see some of the scavengers come out from Scordoon. They bring you a few extra parts, rations, food and such, just topping off your supplies for whatever travel you may take, as the work you've done, though being short-lived, seem to do more for them than anything they've seen previously. You see that a long line of carriages and carts leading towards Adriel Cove, as now knowing what enemies they face, it seems the scavengers have gone in with more force, having learned from the different means of all of you, the different skills. Even the orcs that you were in the bar fight with come out to pay the respects as the engines of the Valkyrie begin to whine and spool up for takeoff. As a large amount of individuals at the front gate see you off, returning to their duties as the scavengers go off towards Adriel Cove to clear it, and hopefully now with your intel, your recon, what you found, they'll have the ability to make it livable again. Hopefully finding the crystal that causes this weird light to transmute whatever goes inside, much as kin to you did, as you tell them of it. The Valkyrie takes off and simply asks you all a question of where to next.
Agreed, I feel like you would Sensor bust.
Ow.
The map.
Eva.
Well, I would tell you that the map in your quarters, Creed, as you're kind of asked this question, as you think about it, you see that there are two major towns in the Cradle of Life. It's Demisoyan and Durian's Watch, and then there are two large plantations in between them.
Trying to think. No, not one to use intermediaries. I think more than likely our best bet would be Durian's Watch. That does be the first place that she would probably besiege. I see no reason not to assume it anyways. But it's our best bet. So I'd say let's go there.
With a simple vocal command, the Valkyrie lifts off from the ground fully, its landing gear tucking inside, as it begins to make its way towards Durian's Watch, keeping its throttle gentle as it's still testing out if the repairs are concrete. And it tells you that it's going to be a long enough time between you and Durian's Watch that a long rest is a bit able to be taken if you so wish it. But the dinner bell rings as you see that Okros has prepared a feast for all of you as a sit-down reward for finishing what you started. And even though you didn't take back Watcher's Rest, it is now removed as a threat. Whether that will play into your favor or as a bane is to be seen. But it did send a message, which is all you could ask for. As you know, Watcher's Rest is only about 100 or so kilometers from High Charity. You know that Zeus watched that explosion from his ivory tower. And you hope that he saw every single life that went with it. But as you find yourselves going towards the dining table that has been set up by your barbarian, you see that there is a extra plate and goblet set aside towards the head of the table that has no chair. It has no dining utensils, but it is just a plate of food with a goblet that is full sitting next to it. As you all take your usual spots, he explains that that is a tribute to a goblin that has all of your respects, as he would imagine.
I would agree.
So Okros, now that you have returned, essentially you have brought them to the dining table where you have kind of set up a dinner/feast for everyone as you were on your way to Durian's Watch. And I basically explained that you had all the places set up with chairs and utensils, but you had one spot set up that had no chair, no utensils, but a plate of food and a goblet placed near the head of the table.
Yes. In honor of Glem, a goblin who may not have needed to sacrifice his life, but chose to for our benefit. May he be honored in the afterlife.
No, he will.
And I'll raise the glass for a cheers to honor him.
You all feel a moment of peace, which has been odd in your profession since the resistance started 13 years ago. And especially since Creed came to town years later to help solidify your advance, your offense. You've done a lot. You secured an entire northeastern region. You took back the ports and the forts, secured the farms, removed resistance where it was. You stopped two villains of the Blight Piper and the Plague Doctor. You saved the town of New Haven, where now a new fort has been established for all the refugees from these different cities. You flew to the Great Scorched Sands, where unfortunately you were shot down and you had those difficulties, but you helped Scordoon for the better, even though you were at your lowest point, or one of them. You secured Adriel Cove, or at least what you could, finding different artifacts and such that could be useful down the road for yourselves and for others. And you also dealt with the issue at Watcher's Rest, removing its guns, its armaments, its creatures, its soldiers, its stranglehold on that part of the sea, as well as the air, from not only your own friendly forces, but Scordoon as well. And so, the feast is full of joyous talks, regaling of adventures you've had, of amazing moments you've all shared, all circling back to the thought of what would you do if you had to make the same choice as Glem? Would you do it? If you had to put your life down on the line for the people sitting at this table with you, would you? And it's not something that any of you answer lightly. You all give your own answers, your own ideas. You all hold yourself to your own moral standards and wants of what you want to see in this world. But that discussion is for a later time, as after the feast, the words shared, a bond built further. The lights begin to dim in the Valkyrie as you all return to your quarters, or stay even in the common areas to chat and look upon things, to study, to fix, to stretch, to build. As the next 8 hours are spent flying swiftly and quietly across the darkened landscape, which is interrupted as you get closer to Durian's Watch, as the darkened sky begins to glow with an orange hue. And it seems that Creed's estimation of what would happen was not short of an underestimation. It seems that Durian's Watch is under siege, or was, and is now currently being razed to the ground. As you see, the plantation that is to its south that links the city to its larger fields of growth of crops is also aflame. The pillars of smoke blotting out what light would be coming down from the stars. And you see in the distance, beyond the city's borders, it's just this ornate looking building in the center of it all, just southeast of the Scored Pass. Something built haphazardly, almost with an immediate understanding of trying to establish dominance in this region. The caps of the buildings seem to be plated of gold, with ornate decorations of spikes and curves, of something that is built for war and defense, as well as to be a symbol of oppression. And you all can seem to feel that if you looked at that building as you flew towards Durian's Watch, you would feel the eyes of a extremely large four-armed god staring you down as it waited for your next move. And that tonight is where we will end our session. Yep. And so, ending it a bit earlier tonight because I have a few things to take care of on my own time tomorrow. I have to get up early to go to the train station with the wife and children as we are going to DC for my son's birthday zoo trip. So, wanted to kind of get what was left of Watcher's Rest out of the way and kind of set up the stage for the next big thing you guys have. Because it was a twist of fate to see where exactly Shiva would sit on the scale of assholery, on what level, so to speak, as they are one of the higher lords of the Hindu pantheon, but they are also, they're not exactly of war, but they are of conflict and pride, and so that's kind of where it's going. Because Kiva's not here. Kiva would be the lord of or the goddess of destruction and change, but Shiva just likes to fight, and he's very he was humbled in his story, but he's still kind of king of the mountain, so to speak. So that's where we kind of are, is that Durian's Watch is being currently the siege is done and is now being razed to the ground. The plantation to its south is aflame, and you see an ornate building kind of jutting out from the landscape on not matching anything that you can assume he is watching you from. And that's
Shiva wouldn't happen to be green-skinned and be obsessed with something called Space Marines, would he?
No, that would be a funny twist, but no.
Oh, by the way, I can finally say it now. I mentioned Rex was like, we left a ghoul in a cell. I'm hoping that's fine.
Well, he's not there now.
Yeah, the ghoul's gone.
Yeah.
I was thinking, man, this would fucking suck. Like, Nez just ran out to avoid the light. Imagine, like, he's stuck against the wall waiting for it to go away and just starts getting fucking bitten and eaten from behind.
Well, thankfully, a certain barbarian kicked a table against it that weighs easily like 400 pounds. So,
look,
ghouls are not known to be that strong.
When I realized we left it down there, I was like, oh, that's a problem. I was like, wait, but if I say that, he's going to find some way to get it out of that cell.
No, that wasn't even a thought of mine, because he was still eating the hobgoblin. The table was against him. Like it was one thing of like if you flipped the switch and was like, oh, all the cells open because like you hit a button or whatever. Then that would be something I would think about. But because you had to unlock them manually, it wasn't something that came across my head. The big thing was I was trying to see if you guys were going to trigger the Shield Guardians. Because they were in there, but you didn't. You didn't do anything to trigger them, which was surprising and annoying.
How would we have?
They were specifically tethered to a switch on the throne that if you kept talking mad shit and didn't actually start the fight, that he was going to hit the button, they were going to come out of the wall, and they're going to be another enemy where they just tank a shit ton of damage. Their AC is like 23 by default. Like they're literally just meant to be walls. Like they just stand in front of you and just take hits. But it'd be two of them. They have like 150 hit points defaultly with a 23 or 24 AC. Like they're disgusting. Their whole job is just meant to soak damage and remove action economies. So having two of them with four of you, it would just like fucked up everything. Because they can't hit you hard, but they can stop you from doing other shit.
You making me blind and dead was a problem.
Yep.
I want to like stagger upward and just stab him through his eye slit this helmet, but no. I gotta be dying and blind and
dying and blind and on the ground shielding a goblin who was inspired by your heroic acts to take the high road in his own mind. Which he actually rolled low on his wisdom save. He rolled an 8 in total.
See, you had me in the first half with that, not gonna lie. You're like, yeah, he decided to take the path of the hero. Alright, that seems pretty good. Which is bad.
Because he's a goblin.
I'm like, because you're like, and here's interpretation of hero, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. If he rolled high, he was going to take the route of the coward, which was going to be essentially zooping himself out because he didn't want to die, because he just got out of the jail cell, and even though he sees... He was basically trying to reason, are you guys going to win, or is it just time to leave and, like, pack up shop? And so he was
I
on the
would have been
fence.
0 for 2 with helping goblins. Like, I'm not saying this would turn me racist against goblins, but like, I'd be like, I'm done. I'm done trying to helping people.
Yeah, it definitely would have soured some reputations, but he rolled low, was like, all right, yeah, path of the hero. Basically, no thoughts, only power, and just like exploded. Because technically he was a CR-22 goblin sorcerer. So he had two level 9 spell slots, which one of them was Wish, one of them was Death by Sunbeam, and that's what he used to do it at the end was Wish, because he did have like essentially Dimensional Door, where he could just be like zip and then leave, but it was like either that or just like use his wish spell. And I was like, he rolled low. I was like, all right, he's gonna wish for the people who have risked their ass to remove this bad guy away and like fix all their problems, and then he's just gonna fucking detonate all of his power right in front of this guy and just remove the entire place from existence. So yeah. But yeah, so let's do a quick breakdown before we send everyone out for the night. I know, again, this is a shorter session. We're just barely hitting the 3-hour marker. But I didn't want to overdo it. I wanted to kind of establish where we're going for the next one. Finish up the combat, kind of see what was going to happen. Because there's a few things that could have happened to really soak time, but thankfully they didn't. But yeah, so let's do some good, bad, and the ugly, starting with Blackburn, Mr. Creed.
I would say the bad is I spent most of this round like an inch away from death. Which is still good. Don't get me wrong. I'm 1 for 2 with helping goblins, which is good in my opinion. You know, this one didn't get stabbed to death, so
Yeah.
He kind of punched his own ticket, so not really my fault. I helped him out. He still did a good thing in the end, so I'm still on the good side. You made me fucking sad again. I'm starting to think that this is just targeted, so...
It's not. It's just... Would it be? I don't know what to tell you.
You're just now starting to think that?
No, I thought for a while, because I didn't have any trauma for Creed for quite some time, and so I thought maybe we've turned over a new leaf. And it's like, I just got on top of the stairs, I just took a deep breath, and he just came up and went, nope, get back down there. So, good stuff.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Nameless, Mr. Rage.
I mean, I don't really have a good, bad, and ugly, but they both involve Okros. So, the hug at the beginning, the Piccolo stance at the end, and then I had a big brain move going, oh, well, he's technically a goblin, he's technically a favorite enemy, can I get an advantage on an intelligence check with him? And then he rolls a nat 20 and it just doesn't matter.
It's just, like, I saw the gears in your head turning, because it was going to be, the answer was going to be yes. Like, favorite enemy, you kind of know magic, you've been around it long enough, like, yeah, you get advantage on it. But Ogre's like, I just rolled a nat 20. It was like, okay, yeah, sure, fuck it. Like,
yeah. Nothing matters anymore. Like,
you could have rolled anyway, so 2 of you would know, but it's kind of like, I was going to leave that up to you, and you're just like, fuck it. And I was like, cool, all right.
Just give it to him. He got it. Like, nat 20. I'm not going to compete.
Oh, Chris has a fucking epiphany. All those books he's eaten.
Too.
His fucking gut starts twisting. He's like, oh no. Dear God. Oh no. Alright. Mr. Stealth, Mr. Nez.
Although...
Oh, what's up?
Oh,
go ahead.
Say, the only 2 goblins that I respected are now both dead from the same tragedy.
Oh yeah,
Because the first one I let out went to go fight the other bad guys down the stairs. and then the other goblin that just destroyed everything. So I'm back to not liking any more goblins.
These are the goblins I respected. Now I'm back down to 0, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it's there.
All is now balanced in the world.
As it should be. Perfectly balanced. All right, Mr. Stealth, Mr. Nez, you're good, bad, ugly.
The good was definitely that nat 20 on Okros for the Arcana. I was just like, you know what? I don't even care. I'll be the character that would care, but you know what? Fuck this shit.
You're dealing with some shit.
Fair.
I had the fun with using adrenaline.
Yes, that was hilarious.
I was like so playing it up, which is like part of like why I sent that message, and I was like, oh shit, wrong person.
Got the same answer regardless.
And like I had told him, I actually forgot that the dex was advantage for the dex save.
Yeah, haste.
Basically sent him everything else besides that.
Yeah, haste is a very powerful spell. If you use it correctly, like if you use it at the start of combat, it's disgusting. It's just like, oh yeah, you're doubled speed. It's if you're doing it as concentration, if the person who's concentrating like fucks up and breaks it, like yeah, you get incapped for a round. But if it's something like this where we'd have to look at how long, we'll have to sit down and look at how long those syringes you have last, because they're more like actual materialistic and not magical. Like we'll see what the cap is.
It's like doing a haste potion. Basically.
Yeah, because haste itself lasts for a minute based on concentration, but it's like if it's a syringe, it's going to be like, oh, if you use it, it's going to be 3 rounds, which is still insane if you hand it to the fucking barbarian, because he gets 4 attacks and 2 actions per turn now, and just gets to run around batshit crazy charging into people. So it wouldn't be. But what else you got, Mr. Nez?
And the bad, but yet also funny, is my 2 nat ones.
Don't get me fucking started on that ones tonight.
I just was happy I wasn't the only one. But, God. The roll for initiative, and then hey, I actually loaded the dread with the speed roller. Not one on that shot.
There it goes. Look, Bond, no hands. It's over fucking there somewhere.
Would have been so good if it somehow hit the invisible person.
I was thinking about it. I rolled the percentage die. I was like, if it's below 25%, I'm gonna let it fucking hit this person and just gank their shit. And it rolled a 57. I was like, damn it, that would have been funny. I was like, oh, it's such a fucking small chance, because they were moving when they were invisible, and when you attack, they were directly in line with you behind the captain. So I was like, oh, it's there. It's a possibility. It could, maybe, but yeah,
Alas, it was not to be.
It was not to be. All right, last but certainly not least, Mr. Okros, Mr. Rexus.
I mean, the fucking just the moment with the wizard and also the image that Creed sent in response to it was just great. I also liked how fucking Creed was like, oh hey, that looks like a necromancer or something, and you were like, no, not quite. I was like, oh hey, that looks more like a death knight. It was just like deafening silence. And I was like,
silence.
Well, shit.
Oh no. Is that a lich? No. Is that Death Knight? I will not deny nor confirm the placeholder monster I'm using. You shut your mouth.
You don't know this. You shut your mouth.
You shut it right now. I tell you what.
Prowler sick, goddamn it.
Cut soon, prowler sick. You take your wampus. Except that I rolled 9 nat 1s tonight.
Oh,
my
I knew
attacks.
about like 5 of them, but no.
It was so fucking bad. It was just constant. Like he rolled it on his save against the sunburst. He rolled it like to attack like multiple times in a row, which is why like Creed, if Creed actually had gotten the chance to fight the Death Knight, the captain, he would have like 3 advantage rolls on attacks against them. Like he just kept fucking up. And he even has parry, where he has a reaction to like up his AC by 6 against the melee attack, and it wouldn't have fucking mattered because it's just it would have been
blinded.
yeah
Oh,
yeah he can't see, so he can't fucking parry, and so it was just terrible. It was terrible across the fucking board. Anything else, Mr. X, before I go into my breakdown?
It was a spectacular ending for Glem, but it was unfortunate.
Yes. It was one of those things I was toying with in my head as we go into my breakdown of the good, the bad, the ugly. The good was testing out a new combat system because I'm trying to feel out how to make encounters more difficult without increasing the number of monsters on the field. Because if you raise a monster's CR rating to a certain point, they just become sponges, and that's not fun because you're still dealing with an action economy issue. And so tonight, when I was working with him on the whole, he has a like translucent spectral image, and he's kind of jumping in between them, very much like Chronicles of Riddick style, was playing off of that idea of.
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where, that's what I
Nice.
want to try and stab, because if I can stab him, like I'll die for this, but I will die taking him with me.
Yeah, it was one of those things of like I was testing out this new idea of like him having like 2 initiative steps, and I think what I'm gonna do next time is I'm gonna set them manually and not really like I'll let the dice roll, but it's gonna be his starter one, and then his other one's gonna be like either 4 or 5 above or below, depending on where he is, just to have that space, because I want to give him more actions, but without like uploading his stat block a shit ton or like giving him way too much to work with because he already had a shit ton to work with. But basically like, oh yeah, he's gonna have his 4 actions per round now because he has the 2, and then he has the other 2, balancing out against you guys to make it equal. And so I'll play with that as we go, is that you'll probably see more of that with certain upcoming fights where they should be able to do more per turn. They're going to have more options and opportunities to do shit per round. Because they're going to be able to just pick up that speed and get that extra initiative slot. Just to help with the action economy. So I play with that a little bit tonight. We'll play with it a little bit more. See if I can get a good balance for it. But yeah, so that was fun. Fucking Glem, the MVP, that dense motherfucker, where it was like, oh, he's gonna be a funny joke goblin, because the idea was that he was going to do the thing, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna roll, see if he like just goes fucking apeshit on the forearm troll. He does, and he blows up the fucking building because he's full of bullshit. Just blows it up, and because the whole thing was that he was going to try and do something, and it was going to like, it was either going to be amazing, average, or spitter, like just kind of like fuck up. And he's going to get hit with a brick and go unconscious because con save is fucking terrible. And that was going to be that. Like he was just going to be unconscious, and it was just you guys going to go and do shit. And I tried to do it again when he went into the room, and it was just like, all right, he's going to get hit in the back of the head by like Creed, or he's gonna hit by like a brick or like a rock or like a fireball or something. He's just gonna get stunned and he's just gonna be out of it. I won't have to worry about using him because he's gonna be in cap. Shitty con save, he's just gonna get bonked. Done. Great. Fucking wizard cast fireball at Creed, and he rolls good on his athletics to get up in front of Creed and pop his fucking dome. Saves Creed from the fireball and himself. And then like every turn was like losing his wisdom save to keep his composure. It was just getting more and more agitated as he was getting hit, and it just fucking accelerated. So I was like, you know what? Hero's ending for Glem. Just fucking wrap it up. just get in the fucking bag, get in the fucking corner with the rest of the NPCs I've made for this fucking campaign so far.
Now that you mentioned, like, I legitimately would be so unbelievably pissed off. I am at 2 hit points. I am a strong breeze away from death. Nez is 3. I have sacrificed to save this fucking goblin. If he had just poofed out of existence after everything I did to keep him alive, I would have been so angry.
Right. And that was something I was trying to balance off of, was like, how am I going to wrap up Glem? Because he is an extremely powerful sorcerer. He's stupidly powerful as a goblin. A Boyo Boyo Boya as a CR22 monster is stupidly terrifying, because they have access to so much magical bullshit. They only have 78 hit points, but they will fucking incinerate you, because they get access like Power Word Kill, Finger of Death, Sunstrike, Sunbeam, Meteor Swarm. Like, they get access to all of this insane shit. I was like, yeah, if he just goes out into the world and exists, you fucking throw a pebble at him, he's gonna just turn you into glass. Just like, pfft, you're dead, you're done. So yeah, it was one of those things of trying to just be like, oh, and then with him just popping himself, I was like, great, that wraps up everything on a nice bow. Get y'all back to the Valkyrie, get y'all the parts you need, that you'll move on to the next area. You've been in the fucking desert for a little too long, we've been behind on sessions, etc. Otherwise, like, you guys playing things off the way you did was pretty good, as always. You guys playing between characters. The fucking Piccolo hug from Okros was cash. Just, that was hilarious. Creed being like, I sacrificed my turn to guard the goblin. Amazing. Nez fucking deucing when he figured out what the fucking orb of light was and was like, nah, I'm out of here. I'm done. Get me the fuck out of this room.
From the player
I'm
perspective,
not
it's even
going
worse.
down there with this.
Because, like, we're in there trying not to die, and we literally just see out the corner of our eye, and Nez, like, all right, I'm out. I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Me and Lucifer are just gonna dip. We'll be back. 100% totally coming back, guys.
Totally coming back. We're just gonna be outside the door right here. As he's just like, I activate Overwatch, fire, crit miss, and then just fucking runs.
All you hear is the Zoidberg sounds.
Yep. Just as he fucking is deucing. I think my favorite moment was just Okros being a fucking menace, as he always is in combat. Like, everyone has their moments to shine. Fucking Nameless just executing people with the fucking 50. You know, Creed being a fucking stalwart. You know, Nez being, like, fucking intelligent, doing, like, firebombs and shit. But, like, Okros as a menace in combat is always hilarious, because it's the person he picks on always happens to have, like, the lowest hit points and the least defense against it, where he's just like, hi, and it's like, oh god, no, please. That wizard you were punking on had 48 hit points, was a CR7.
Oh my god.
He literally had the number of hit points that you did in damage between your 2 attacks and your attack of opportunity, where you just fucking backhanded him into a wall. Captain Atreus, please save me. He had like Fire Wave and Force Key. Like, he had all these spells that would help with like battlefield manipulation or like pushing you guys with AoE, and you just rushed them. And it just,
I saw Fireball, I was like, ah!
like, it's just no. It just punked him into the fucking wall. And it's always funny because like you all have your moments of like going above and beyond as like characters, and it's just you get lucky enough where you land on shit that is like your perfect target, and you just rip it to shit, and it's hilarious.
Yes.
Just, did you mean to do it? No, he was a wizard. It's like, oh, you did all of his hit points in 3 hits. Wonderful. Bonketh. Be gone.
Yeah.
That was definitely the high point. I was like, oh, maybe he can get away. No. You were like, I rolled a 28. I was like, yeah. Yeah, you did. He activated mage armor and shield to stop the hand axe from hurting him, but that only gave him an AC of 20. So it's just the poor man. He was not long for this world after the first fireball. Just casters are hard to use against the party that likes to punch shit in the mouth. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Or if they don't get punched in the mouth, Nameless is just licking his lips from the back line with a fucking 300-foot range, being like, "Hey, I see you over there. I also have magic missile, idiot," and just like, and just punk, died your drinks. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna keep trying to work with the system because I'm taking notes down from our sessions on shit to add to the Atlas system I'm trying to build, about like tips on how to make creatures more fun, how to build things better, how to make combat encounters a little more balanced. And so we'll keep playing with different things, different creatures, different types of initiative, whether it's like combat narrative, where it's actual like stage initiative, where like big fights, we'll play with it. But yeah, so your next stop is going to be taking on Shiva, which is not going to be an easy feat. But once you're done with that, it will be kind of where you go from there, because you guys still have some stuff to deal with on the up and up. I don't know why it turned all of my fog to green. I kind of hate that. Anyway, because you still got Head Thunder in the western region to clear into, and the Drowned Gate and the northern point to kind of establish on. So I believe yeah.
Level?
Sure. Why not?
Oh,
Look,
Yay!
I think we should just
Damn.
like mustard gas move to other town.
Jesus Christ.
What?
And with
the
that,
fuck? Why did he just? He came in with like the energy of a man who just ripped the fattest dab, and just came back from that and was like, bro, we should just mustard gas the entire next town.
All right, like,
Creed's
Hear me
fucking
out.
villain arc starting off strong.
hear me out, right? Like,
Especially when he gave me the grenade that he just had helmets on his.
The gang commits war crimes, episode 30. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. But yeah, give it some thought of where you want to go next. You guys can see on the map where the different gods are and what you need to do. We can at the start of next, or once you guys kind of clear up this area, we can talk about what your objectives are, what would be the best way where you can go next. I'm going to tell you now, you're probably going to get capped at level 15, just so you're aware. Just because anything past that is just... If you're all level 15, I'll be hitting you with shit that is like CR 25. And that it will be a literal fight between titans every fucking encounter at that point. So we'll cross the bridge when we get there. But give it some thought of where you guys want to go next. What's next Friday? I should be good for next Friday if you guys want to run another session. If you want to take a week off and go back to a regular rotation, that is also fine. Just let me know. Past that, I think that's everything for here. You guys get the level, you guys get some stuff. You'll have to go deal with Durian's Wash that's currently on fire. And we'll see what happens next. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being a part of this. My players, of course, integral part of this whole thing. I think for when we ever get into the next campaign, after this one wraps itself up, as I kind of get the story all kind of tied up as you make more and more loose ends, may try to do like a webcam thing so that Blackburn's not sitting there making poses and faces and none of us know what he's doing.
Yeah. I'd
Well,
be down to do a webcam. Jesus Christ, English. A
Yeah.
webcam setup.
yeah, I'll have to talk to Aoife because she has it set up for their D&D thing for Bart City. I think she's just doing cut browser sources of the Discord cameras. So I
That makes sense.
may try that to see if it'll make it easier, but again, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. But yeah, with that, closing everything up, sending you all home with the nice little goodie bags that is the trauma and tribulations of this game. And I will see you all when I see you next. Again, if you guys aren't already part of the Discord, please make sure that you join it to keep up with all of our shenanigans and such. And of course, if you haven't seen everything that we have here, make sure to go check out the archive on my YouTube channel that has all the sessions for here. It has our co-op shenanigans we get into. It has our other stuff that we get into on the side, whether it's like games that I'm in on the side or chill nights, art stuff, card games, etc. Go check that out if you get bored. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you again to my players, Mr. Rexus as Okros, Mr. It's Time to Rage as Nameless, Stealth Rage 7 as Nez, and of course, Mr. Blackburn as Creed. We will see you all next time from Tales of Etheria. Good night, everybody.
Pleasure to have.
Good night.
Hi guys, I gotta run.
Hey, you have a good
Goodbye,
night.
y'all. Have a good night.